Wow, that's doing a really good job. Hello everyone, it's Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do the unboxing, how to set up, and the first cleaning with the brand new Roborock Qrevo Curv 2 Flow. So we saw this at CES. I thought it was going to be a box within a box, but it's just one box. Let's open it up, see exactly what we get. Now I did buy this with my own money. I wasn't paid for this video. It retails for $1,000, but it is on sale now for 850 bucks. So that seems like a pretty good deal for a robot with a mop roller, but we're going to find out. Okay, so here's the robot. I'm going to grab it. Okay, so it wasn't too bad. It's got a big bag on it. Looks like we got some styrofoam down here. Let's get it all out. Let's take a look at the actual robot. And again, this will be the first look. I'm not going to give it my rating until I take it to my house and I use it for 3 months. And then we'll see if it gets the Just a Dad approved sticker. But if you want to find out the robots that I do highly recommend, check out my website, justadadapproved.com. All right, here we go. It's in a, looks like it's kind of a different type of protection. 2 brush rollers. Be careful with the bag. Let's take the bag off. Okay, so this piece of styrofoam that was right here does have the cord. Looks like that's all that we get. We're gonna go over all of this. Water tanks, nothing inside the water tanks. Clean water tank, dirty water tank. It does come with a quick start guide. You've got like the parts diagram. You do have I do like that it comes with a paper manual. And you've got the Hello Rocky, all the stuff with it. So here's the actual robot. Wow, this looks really cool. Now again, this video, we're going to put it together. We're going to connect it to my smartphone. We're going to map our home. We're going to show you the recommended settings. Then I'm going to do the first cleaning in the world famous Just a Dad Corner Cleaning Studios. And then I'm also going to do a carpet cleaning test over here. And then after I compare it to some closer similar models, I'm going to take it to my house and use it for 3 months. Then I'll give it my final rating. I just brought 1, 2, 3, 4 robots from home. The Aqua 10, which this is going to be a really close competitor to it. I just brought it from home. I'm getting ready to do how to do the maintenance and give it my final results. Same with the Matrix 10, the D20, and the L40S. I've done the research. I've got all the specs listed here. And again, once I type this out, you'll find this on my website, justadadapproved.com. Now, I will put a link to this in the show description notes and on my website. If you end up purchasing the product using a link on my website or in this video, the product's not going to cost you anymore, but I do earn a small commission from the sale. This is home of the honest review, and I buy and test this stuff with my own money so you don't waste yours. So here's everything that comes in the box. Again, you do get a manual, the power cord, and that's it. Everything else comes installed already. Here's the base station. We've got a clean water tank. You're going to fill this up with clean water, and a dirty water tank. You'll have to clean this out once in a while. And then there's a dust bag. It's already installed. You have to replace that dust bag about every couple months. This is where it's going to wash the mop roller. Here's the actual robot vacuum cleaner. It's got LiDAR navigation, 2 physical buttons up here. It does have a camera, an LED light on the front. There's the bumper. We go around back. There is a dirty water tank that comes off. This is a sensor to help it back up and charging. Now, if we take the cover off, this is the dust bin. So it's going to vacuum your house. Everything's going to go into this dust bin. Then it gets sucked out the bottom right there. Right here into the dust bag. And there is a filter on this dust bin. You have to replace this every once in a while, but you can also wash it and let it dry in the sun. I do like the cover. It's got some really strong magnets. And I like that there's physical buttons up here. A power button, which is a start, stop, and pause, and then a home button. Onto the bottom, this is new from Roborock. It's got a mop roller. We got drive wheels with chassis lift. We got the dual divide brush roller. We got a carpet sensor. It's got 2 side brushes. Now, It may look like this goes into the corner, but it doesn't extend, but it can retract these so that when it's doing a mopping only event, or if the sensor senses liquid, it can stop spinning these and then retract them so they don't drag in the liquid. And it can also lift the vacuum up so it doesn't vacuum up the liquid. Here's where it auto empties. Now this split brush dual roller design is really good with long hair and pet hair because it's divided in the middle. So the long hairs are not going to wrap around a single piece. They're going to be directed to the middle and then get sucked into the dustbin. That feature actually works very well. Okay, looks like we have cliff sensors. This is so it doesn't fall down your stairs. Carpet sensor. I'm not sure if that wheel lifts up and down, but it just spins free. Now the mop roller is designed to be worked on. You're going to press this button and lift up, and it comes right off. This is the motor. You're not going to want to get this wet. That's the motor that drives it, but you can take this off to do more. You're going to have to replace it once in a while, but you can also clean it better once in a while by taking it off. And then here is the wiper. Let's take the dirty water tank also comes off, but let's take a look. This just kind of, it doesn't really snap into place. It just kind of sits there, and when the brush roller comes down, that's what kind of holds it in place. But here's where the fresh water is going to clean the mop roller, and then this is the scraper that's going to scrape everything off, and it's going to scrape all the dirty water off and put it into the dirty water tank, which is right here, it's a little hard to see, but this is where the dirty water is going to go, and it goes into this platform. Now it's not making contact because right now it can move this mop roller up and down, and when it's down, it'll make contact and put the dirty water in this is the dirty water tank. All right, let's put the brush roller back on. You may have to kind of turn it, line this up over here. Goes together very well. But again, it all comes together, but you will have to take this apart once in a while. Let's take a closer look. Here's the dirty water tank. So it fills the robot up with, it has a clean water tank, and then it also is going to empty the dirty water tank by pressing in this little button right here. There's a lever that's going to press that, and then that opens up the bottom of the dirty water tank for stuff to come out. Now, this lid, it is hinged right here, and to take it off, it took a little force, and I thought I was going to break it, but if you just push up, you don't have to do anything else. It's hinged inside. Here's the dirty water tank. Some of these parts do come out. You will have to take this apart and clean it. Here's this, there's a little hose down there. This is a little filter. And I think that's about it. And again, there's that mechanism that empties the dirty water tank. There's a little plunger down there. So I think that's as far apart as it comes. No, that's a float. Okay, that's a float. Probably to let it know when the dirty water tank is full. There's two ports, look like here. Oh, this is where the fresh water comes in here, and that's how it gets into the other tank. So right here, this is where it fills. There's an internal tank, and then this is the dirty water coming from the scraper. No, that, I'm not sure exactly what that is. But this little tray here, this is what catches the dirty water coming from that scraper I showed you. So right here, that's where the dirty water is going to come out of that scraper. And when the tray is in there, it's going to be hitting that spot right there. And then this just snaps down. And then there is you just push it in. Again, this is a sensor to help it back up into the dock. Yeah. And then that's a charging point. And I already forgot a part. I forgot to put this back in. There's like a little hook over there. Onto the base station. Now it is going to wash the mop roller with hot water and dry it with hot air. Charging, this is where it fills the robot up with water, alignment pins. It's going to wash the mop roller right here, suck the water up into the dirty water tank. There's where the hot water comes down, this little tray. What I do like that we can take this tray out, take it to the sink. So again, that's where the hot water comes down into the tray. That's the suction port, sucks up into the dirty water tank. There's where it's going to blow hot air onto the mop roller. And this is the auto empty feature. And this base station does have, so that it's going to suck the water up into the dirty water tank, but it's going to pass through a dirt detection sensor before it gets to the dirty water tank. And if that water is dirtier than normal, it's going to tell the robot, go back and remop where you just came from. I love when robots have dirt detection sensors built into the base station. It's just kind of an automatic feature that if your floor was dirtier than normal, it just tells the robot, go back and re-clean it. Now again, this tray is self-contained. I can take this whole tray to the sink and clean it. There is a little float here to let me know when the dirty water, if this starts to overflow, that's going to tell the docking station to cease operation. Looks like this comes out like a little filter. I don't think that comes off. It's like a little bridge. The dirty water is going to come in here. There's where the hot water comes down. And then the brush roller is probably being cleaned right in this trough area here. But I love how this is designed. You just push it in and it's done. Power cord is 2-prong. You're going to plug it in. 6 feet long power cord. Now it says 120 volts, 60 hertz, 4 amps when it's collecting dust. It does have a water heater, but it doesn't talk about the amperage when it's heating the water. Yeah, 2-prong. Normally on these Curve models, this is 3-prong, but there's a nice status light here that turns red when there's something wrong, like the dirty water tank's full or the clean water tank is empty, or if there's something wrong, that'll turn red. I like that because when you're walking by it, you'll see something is going on. Front to back, the dock is about 18 inches front to back or 46 centimeters. Left to right, also 18 inches and 46 centimeters. Now you do have to lift the lid all the way up in order to get the water tanks out. So let's measure that. With the lid all the way up, 28 inches or 71 centimeters. Let's measure the robot now. The robot is 13 3/4 inches wide or 35 centimeters. Now it does seem to be a little on the tall side, yeah. It is 4 3/4 inches tall or 12, just under 12 centimeters tall. So it is a little on the tall side. To the dock, or to the top of it, it's about 9.5 centimeters. Here's what the sensor looks like on the front. It does have a camera. Now you can turn that camera on or off. And it does have an LED light, optical avoidance sensor. And again, it does have the front bumper that if it does run into something, it'll turn it around. LiDAR navigation. That's going to do a really good job of mapping your home. Okay, so it is tall. It's a lot taller than a normal robot, almost a full inch taller, and it's kind of heavy. Not the heaviest I've ever, but it is heavier than like a traditional Roborock vacuum cleaner. I've got the docking station plugged in. There is a red light now because the clean water tank is empty. Now let's go do some prep work. Now, in the bottom of the clean water tank, there is a filter and a float. So if you start to get hard water deposits, you may have to descale that with some vinegar, but I'm going to fill this up with just fresh water. Now, Roborock says you can only use their solution, which is this. I'll put a link to it in the show description, and it's on my website. And everything I'm going to show you here is on my website, justadadapproved.com. 2 capfuls of solution. I call it 2 dabs every time you fill the clean water tank up, but I have found that these others work just as good, especially the Shark Vac Mop solution and this Bissell multi-surface cleaner. Again, you can find this on my website, and I just go like 2 dabs. Now over to the clean water or the dirty water tank. Every time it's got a little float. Looks like there's a holder down there for like an ionizing thing to help prevent odor, but I have that on my website also. But the cheapest thing to do is just buy Efferent tablets for dentures. Every time you empty it, throw one in. These things will start to stink, and you're gonna have to invest in this little Walmart brush. This is the best brush. I've tested several, and it's just great for cleaning. I'll put a link to this on my website, justadadapproved.com, under cleaning your robot. And scrubbing bubbles. This kills all the bacteria that grows in these tanks. Now, I like this curved design. It's very attractive. It looks good in your home. The bag that they make is for a Qrevo, and it doesn't fit, like, it's kind of a wide bag, and it's in a like a narrow chamber. So you got to kind of put it down. And what I have found when I did my other curves, this bag only fills about halfway up. So that is a little, I wish they had a better designed bag for this model. But you have to change that. Just simply pull it up, you know, and then place it in there. I have videos on, I'll do a maintenance video on this. Push this down. Looks like they've got a little, if you can't get your door down, looks like they put something here so that this, make sure that's all the way down, or this won't sit flush. And now that's white. Okay, let's come over to the robot, hit the power button, we're gonna turn it on. And then we're gonna scan this QR code. See the lights, they're breathing, and then it's gonna play a tune. Okay, you do have to get the Roborock app. You have to, it's free to use, but you have to log in with a username and password. And I've got several different Roborocks, but if this is your first time, you may see just, hit the plus button up here. Give it access to your camera. Then you're going to point the camera at that QR code. Now it says press and hold the power and the dock buttons for 3 seconds. So I'm going to press and hold these. That's going to reset the Wi-Fi.
Resetting Wi-Fi.
Okay. Hit I heard and hit next. Now this robot's going to transmit a Wi-Fi signal. Okay, now we got to tell it what Wi-Fi to connect. So it only works on 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Select your Wi-Fi, type in your Wi-Fi password.
Connecting to Wi-Fi.
Okay, so now this is going to transmit a Wi-Fi signal. Your tablet has to connect to it, tell it what Wi-Fi to go to, and then
Wi-Fi connected.
this should all be, you may have to manually connect to the Wi-Fi sometimes, but normally this just works. Okay, looks like we're connected now. Agree. Okay, we're connected. Now's a good time to dock the robot, and you want to hear charging.
Charging.
Okay, we know it's installed correctly. Okay, this is going to walk us through some settings, but you can change these later, but let's walk through it. Do you have pets? Yes. Do you have carpet? Yes. Do you have multi-level? You can check that if you do. This is important. I would leave do not disturb on. These things will go back, recharge, and they could start in the middle of the night. Map saving, this should be on. I don't know why they turned that off. Make sure they won't save the maps. So turn that on. I wish the default was on. Voice assistant, I don't use this, but it does work really well. I just have too many robots that would start working. Okay, there is an update. These are important to do. I recommend doing it now. I've never had a problem with an update. So I'm just going to update now. I turn auto update on. Optimizing map strategy, logic to improve cleaning, added waste water tank cleaning reminders, fix some issues to improve user. Okay. During this update, that power lights will go out sometimes, but it's flashing fast now. Okay, it says it's updated, it's complete. That took maybe 5-10 minutes. Hit the back button. Okay, here we are. Well, there's a voice pack update. These don't take long. I don't know what to do there. Okay, we're going to do a quick mapping, but let's just go through the settings real quick. We'll go through them more. There's where you're going to put it on a schedule. Maintenance. This is when it tells you it's time to change all these or replace them. And then you've got to reset the timer right here. And under maintenance, it's got mop, replace as needed, mop cover. Oh, I didn't see the mop cover. I forgot to show you that. We'll have to take a look at that. Dirty water channel, normal, onboard. I don't know if we're going to get reminders for all of these. Cleaning tray, dust bag, replace as needed. So, carpet cleaning settings. Lift mop cloths mounts. Lift cloth mounts to vacuum carpet first. Lift to vacuum carpets. So do you want it to, before it washes the mop roller, do you want it to go vacuum your everywhere that you told it to and then come back and wash the mop roller? Or do you want it to just wash the mop roller, and as it sees carpet, it lifts the mop roller, but then as soon as it sees the other floor, it lowers it? I'm going to leave it on this for now, but I do recommend doing, vacuum carpets first. The wording's a little off here. Carpet boost, it can get a little loud, but I do recommend having that on. But if it starts to annoy you, you may want to come back and turn that off. Deep cleaning means it's going to take longer and do a better pattern. If it's not cleaning your carpets as good as you'd like, you could turn that on. Avoid cleaning wires and debris along carpet borders. This is new. Improved wire detection along carpet borders. Occasionally carpets may be mistaken for obstacles. I'm going to leave that off. I don't know about that one. Floor cleaning. Cleaning patterns. Smart, clean along floor direction, which I do recommend. After it maps our home, we're going to tell it what direction this hardwood floor is going in. So we'll come back to that, or a mixed pattern. Flexi arm extend, that's the mop. It extends the mop, that's on. Automatic re-mopping. So this might be the sensor on the front. When a dirty area is detected during mopping, the robot will return to the dock for mop washing and double mop after. I do recommend turning that on. I'm going to leave mine off just for some testing right now. Deep cleaning for heavy dirt or stains. It's beta. I do recommend turning both of those on, but if you find the robot's kind of not doing very well, you may want to turn those off. And pet area deep cleaning, that means when you tell it where like pet beds are and stuff, it's going to clean those better. Dock settings. This is the one. Mop wash frequency. Smart by room or by time. So smart means it's going to figure it out, which they don't really tell us how it does that. By room, if you don't want like say if it cleans your bathroom and then it goes to the kitchen, do you want it to clean the mop roller before it changes rooms? That's what that is. Or by time. Time's probably the easiest. I'll do it in smart. They don't tell us why. Okay, water volume for mop washing. We got smart, light, balanced, or deep. The thing with anytime you see the word smart, it's expecting you to label your rooms like kitchen, bathroom. It uses those labels to clean those rooms differently. So when we go label our house, we'll want to make sure we do that. Soak, suitable for tough stains, requires more water and time. So that's a lot of settings. Room temperature or high temperature. Yeah, I forgot to go over the settings. It cleans at 167 degrees Fahrenheit. Dustbin. Now, I do recommend putting this on high, especially if you have pets. It's going to return to the dock more often and auto-empty the dustbin, which that dustbin does seem a little small, and you want that emptied as often as possible. Empty mode, I do max. It may be a little louder than normal, but I want that thing emptied because that filter, it stops vacuuming if that filter clogs up. Drying, auto drying. Oh, I love scheduled drying. So manual means you have to start and stop it. Auto means it's just going to dry it anytime it washes the mop pad. Scheduled means if you don't want this to be noisy, it's not very noisy anyway, but you can schedule when it's going to dry the mop pad. Say you want to dry it at night. I love that feature. Duration, eco, standard, they don't tell us time. And I couldn't find a time on how long it's going to take. So I'll just leave it standard. Dock maintenance, that's the self-cleaning of the dock. I'll do a separate and drain the onboard water tank. Removable or reactive obstacle avoidance. Do you want obstacle photos? I do. You have to agree. Less collision mode. Intelligently covers more areas for deeper cleaning, may cause slight bumps, or you can do less collision. I leave it in high collision. Pets are on. Pet snaps, I think this is just a really cool feature. It takes a picture of your pet anytime it sees it. AI environment, it perceives the home. Yeah, it does a lot of this 3D mapping, which I don't necessarily use all the time. The fill light, I leave it on automatic. You can turn it off if you don't want the LED light to come on. Manage maps, this is where you do multi-floor mapping. Voice assistant, I've got it off. Remote viewing, activate remote viewing. You have to agree.
Press the power button to complete the activation.
Press this once.
Remote viewing activated.
Now draw a pattern, and this is, you're gonna draw the pattern, and then anytime you wanna access the camera, you gotta repeat that pattern. And there
Remote viewing on.
it's active, so that's a really cool feature.
Remote viewing off.
Connect to Matter is already here. I like that. Voice, okay, that was the next one. We won't connect it to Matter. I don't have my Matter device here yet. I need my Apple Home. More options, do not disturb. I've got it off, but make sure you turn that on. Smart charging, there's off-peak charging. Button lights you can disable the button lights, that's nice, even though they're not super bright. Child lock and offline map, I turn that on. In case it loses power, it's gonna save your maps. Pin and go, I've never really used that. Remote control, I've never used the remote control either. User manual takes you to a web page, I think. Product info, you can change the name, time zone, Wi-Fi, square feet is what I like. There. Okay, let's go back. Device sharing and firmware updates. Again, I turn that on auto. All right, now we're ready. Let's map our home. Open up your doors.
Mapping starts now. During mapping, do not move the robot.
Yeah, I've got 61% charge.
To the areas you need to clean.
So yeah, open your doors, pick up your items, kind of put your furniture where it's normally going to go and sit back. This is what I love this part. It makes the map in live, it's just the coolest thing. It's going to randomly go around your house, and it's not going to clean while it's doing this. This is just a mapping run. And there it goes. And you can see it. Okay, that took about maybe 10 minutes. It advertised being super quick, but it seemed pretty normal. This is a new button, home layout view. Well, I don't want to mess with that yet, but let's hit adjust because we want to go in. First thing you want to do, you want to name your map, but let's go edit the rooms. Now it did a good job, but I want, it did. And even remembered the corner test room, called it the sunroom. Now this is where I said, divide up the room. Let's divide this room. Now that line, if it's dotted, it won't divide the room. You can pinch and zoom. Let's go divide it over here. When it's solid, it'll do the divide. And then you want to name these rooms accordingly. Now you can do custom names, but again, the AI or the automated features so let's rename this one. No, I hit remove, sorry. Name. Room already exists. And then we're going to do, and then you can merge rooms. This looks pretty good so far. I'm going to do one more divide right here. That's a hallway. All right, let's go back now. Let's do, now no-go zones. There's a few areas where I know it's going to struggle. You can put an invisible wall, which is a line that it won't go past. I typically use these invisible, the no-go zones, which is a box. And you can make it whatever size you want, pinch and zoom. I know there's some computer cables that it's just not gonna do very well over here. And you can add as many of those as you want, and you can add those later on. It's best to have it clean your entire home and kind of find where it's gonna have problems. Now furniture, I've never done this. It wants you to add where the bed is. It might make sense for like the pet stuff, the kitty litter box. It does extra cleaning around that. I just haven't taken the time to do that. Now, surface material, I do this. So I do know that this room right here is select. I do know that it's horizontal. And see, you'll see it in the map going the direction that it is in the thing. So this, let's do this room is horizontal. If I wanted to change it to go this way, I would change it. I could do tile or default. Now carpet, I do know this room is carpet. Oh, I want you to add a carpet. So carpet's a tricky thing to mess with right now. You can add a piece of carpet. Like I know this whole room is carpet. I could add that right now, but it's going to clean my entire home. It's going to tell me where, it's going to show me where the carpet is. So, but I can fine tune the carpet at a later date. So, and then thresholds. Now I could find very little information on thresholds. There is chassis lift. So it is going to have a little bit of oomph to go over chassis. About 20 to 30 millimeters is what I could find, about 1.6 inches. So this little yellow yellow box, I'll put one right there. But again, I couldn't find much information on actual going over thresholds. And then that's it. Map details, that's the 3D. I don't like that. Okay, there's your map. You can pinch and zoom. And again, the first thing I recommend is doing a full clean. I recommend doing you can do a vacuum and mop or just do a vacuum. That way it doesn't use a bunch of water right away, but that way it'll kind of finalize the map and show you where all the carpet is. But you do want to get this thing on a schedule right away. So put it on a schedule. Yep. Add a schedule. At least once I'm going to do mine later in the day and that's military time. Custom, I'm going to do it every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Let's do Sunday. It's going to do it's going to do smart plan, the entire home. So my entire room, house, floor, everything, smart plan, 3 times a week. But I recommend doing that at least once a week. And you can turn those on and off accordingly. And now that I've got my floor tile picked, the direction, I can go back in here. Floor cleaning settings, cleaning pattern. I want to clean along floor direction. Once you figure out where all the floor direction is. Now there's the camera. If when you want to activate the camera, you can have it go around. You can have it even do search for pets, which is really cool. And then, so yeah, when we want to do a full, there's this smart plan. They don't tell us a lot about it. I typically do use that, but I wish they told us more information. You can do vac followed by mop. I like that. That way the mop pad's not wet. You can do vacuum and mop. 4 levels of suction. You got a slider scale here for wetness of the mop roller. 1 or 2 times, and then you got cleaning patterns. You can do vacuum only. Got a power intensity 2 times. Then you can also do what? I thought you can do. Can't do mop only? I don't see mop only. Huh. That's funny. So I don't see, normally you see mop only. Apparently this one doesn't do it. You can tell it what room, like anytime it cleans that room, it'll clean it according, like say this one, I wanted to only vacuum that room, and then you could tell it. Or if I wanted it to vacuum and give it a certain wetness setting, that's what it would use in that room. And then yeah, we have to change it. Let's go back to general. You can do it individual rooms. Now you select the rooms in the order you want them cleaned. If you only want one room, just select one room, but it'll clean the rooms in the order you select them. And then there you can tell it do smart plan, general, or customize each room. You can do zones, and then you can add a zone. You can add multiple areas, put these blue boxes, tell it how you want to clean the zone. So I can have it just vacuum that zone, and the other one I can have it vacuum and mop. What else about routines? There was something. Oh, let's go back here and zones. Floor washing. I'm not. Okay. I'm not sure what floor washing is. Add a zone, but then the floor washing goes away. Routines are, this is when you can have it after meals. I don't do a lot of routines. Whoops. This is the home page. When you first log in, there it is. This is where you're going to find how to connect to smart speakers, Google Home, all of those. This one works really well. But as we saw earlier, go to device, click, and the connect to Matter device is actually right here. I don't have Matter right now. Okay, that's it. Let's do a cleaning in the world famous corner cleaning. I got to get it set up, put some mud, some hair over there. Again, Curv 2 flow, $850. That's pretty surprising. This seems like a premium robot. 20,000 pascals of suction. Mop pads are roller. It can lift them 15 millimeters. That's a lot. And it has a cover. Side brush, it's dual anti-tangle, but they don't extend. The main brush does lift. It's split brush dual roller design. Onboard water tank, onboard video camera. Obstacle avoidance, we'll have to see how it does. Threshold, I couldn't find much about it. It does push down the mop roller with 6 newtons of force. 167 degree water, 131 degree air. It does have dirt detection sensor on the robot and in the base station. Solution tank, no. You're going to put the solution in the clean water tank. Tray removal, and that's it. Okay, let's go tell it to vacuum and mop at the same time. Let's do the corner test. Vacuum and mop, balanced. May go up a little higher. 25, 2 passes. Let's do high intensity. And then let's hit start.
Starting selective room cleaning.
So it's going to wash that mop roller and fill the robot up with water. And you'll have like a timeline here. This will go around as it's finishing, and you'll click on this. This is like what it's doing, like another stamped timeline. This sounds pretty much like a standard Roborock. Water's being pumped down there and then sucked up into the dirty water tank. Now this does take a little bit longer because it's a mop roller. It's been taking about 3 minutes. And it will randomly just pause and you won't hear anything. So it makes you think it's done, but then it's not done. Yeah, like right now it paused, but then it picks back up again. It does wash the mop roller with hot water, and at the end of the job, it'll dry it with. Okay, let's see how the world famous Roborock Curv 2 Flow cleans up this big mess. Okay, the first thing it's going to do, the perimeter of the room, it can extend that mop pad right up against the wall. Now it does not have a side brush that it can extend into the corner. Did a pretty good job going up against the wall. Now it is almost 5 inches tall, so it's not able to go under low furniture. So it did detect that cable, and it is going to avoid it now. It turned off the side brush, which is nice. That way the side brush doesn't get wrapped up in the cable. And it should take a picture of it. And in the app, we can see exactly where that obstacle is. Now it is staying very well away from that. Sure enough, if I look in the app, there is the picture of the cable. Now it's going to continue on. Now it's going to go back and forth in the nice straight lines. Looks like it may be detecting that sock. All right, there's the first pass. And I do have it on intensive cleaning, so it's going to have a really tight cleaning pattern. That's really good obstacle avoidance. It is staying really far away from that sock. And that sock is low to the ground, so that can be really hard to identify sometimes. And in the app, it identified it as a fabric. Now you can push that mop roller down with 6 newtons of force. Now it should come back and get that big mess. Wow, that's doing a really good job. That did an excellent job. Okay, that's very impressive. It even got that crevice. That's probably as clean a floor as I have seen in a while. There's a little bit down in that groove. And they've taken obstacle avoidance to a new level. Now, it doesn't reach into the corner. And the second pass, which it's doing now, it's doing the crisscross pattern, it doesn't do the perimeter of the room. I wish it did the perimeter of the room on the second pass. That's a little disappointing because it might have got some more of that stuff over there and over here. But as far as cleaning, that did an amazing job. Here's the pattern. There's the two obstacles. And again, I can change which. You cannot do vacuum, or you cannot do mop only. Vacuum followed by mop, maybe. Maybe that's it, but I can turn the suction down. I can increase. Let's go all the way. It says watermarks may be visible, so I turn the water all the way up. Seems to have good contact with the floor. And you know, it doesn't seem like an absorbent amount of water either. Like that's on the highest setting. Now, I think I might have heard that this is the beginner model or the cheaper model or something. Maybe they got another model coming out that has a side brush that extends. I don't. They had this on full display at CES. And sure enough, it did release a couple weeks after CES, so. And I love this price point. $850 for a mop roller. Could this be the cheapest mop roller? Normally $1,000, but it's on sale for $850, which tells me it'll be on sale for $850 again, you know. But wow. So far, I'm very impressed. Again, this is their Gen 1. It doesn't seem to have weird navigation issues. You know, it actually goes up against the wall. Now, it doesn't clean the corner, and it did have that little dog leg over there a little bit. But that's probably the closest I've seen a mop roller get to the wall. And it was just very consistent. Like, it just, man, when you have like the Ecovacs X11 and you see just how chaotic it can be, or the Narwhal Flow, I love the smoothness of this.
Finished cleaning. Returning to dock.
Yeah, there it raised the mop. And it raises at 15 millimeters. So now we're going to go back, wash the mop. This does take a little bit. And the fan is a little louder than normal. Yeah, this is already better than the Mova 60, but that's their Gen 1. They've got new mop rollers coming out. It can really lift that mop roller. There's where it's going. Oh yeah, we're gonna get an auto empty.
Emptying dustbin.
Very quiet. Very quiet. All right, it's going to wash the mop roller.
Starting to wash the mop.
So I will be doing the carpet test also. So I'm getting set up here to do the carpet test. Now we may get a re-mopping event. We'll see. It's washing the mop. You cannot pick the order in which the rooms are cleaned. I don't know why that's not standard feature. That should be a standard feature if I can select the order. When I do all I can't select the room order. But at least, and it doesn't, when it does the second pass, it doesn't do the perimeter, but at least I do have, unlike Dreamy and Mova, the dirt detect sensor works, I think, it does on the other ones, it works when you're just in like a custom mode. You don't always have to be in that AI mode for the dirt detection sensor to work. And again, I'm going to be turning some of these on, these other ones, like the floor cleaning settings. I'll probably be turning those on. That's going to use the sensor on front of it. But I've got the dock setting on. Empty. I thought I had floor clean. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I don't. I thought I had it on. I thought I'm losing it because I thought under dock settings, I thought there was a dirt detection sensor in the dock. I thought I turned it on earlier. I know I left this one off. I know I left this off because I'm thinking that was the sensor on the front of the robot. So maybe that's the only sensor I get. It talks about auto re-mopping. I think I definitely want to turn that on. That must be the auto re-mopping. Yeah, this is taking every bit of 3 to 4 minutes. It's about twice as long as a normal mop cleaning. It's not any louder other than when the dirty water pump kicks on, but what you'll hear, the fan is a little noisier. And they don't tell us how long the fan stays on. But it does blow hot air onto it. And every once in a while, it's going to turn that roller. So it can scare you by going zzz. So here it's spinning that roller really fast. Again, there's those long pauses. It makes you think it's done, but it's just like soaking or something. And I do think it uses a little bit more water. I'll show you when we empty the dirty water tank. It'll have just from this cleaning on it. It uses a little bit more water cleaning the mop roller. I would love to see this one where you pipe it in with clean water tank or a drain line and like over there, like a water line and a drain line. I wish they made a kit for these that you could just add it to this. Okay, there's the fan noise. It sounds more like a fan now instead of a really low fan, but you're definitely going to notice it, but it's not like super loud. And there, did you hear the roller turn? When the roller turns, it's not loud. I'm glad to hear that. But you'll hear the roller turn once in a while. All right, let's take a look. Yeah. So we didn't get a re-mopping, but that might have been my fault. But look how dirty that water is. That's incredible. This is going to be the future. I can already tell. I just have a sense that this is going to do really well. Other than not being thin and a little on the heavy side, this is going to do, I think, very well. This is the cleaning. There's the dirt level map. So it wasn't dirtier. That's when you get the darker level, you would get a re-mopping event. Okay, let's check the carpet. Okay, so after your robot has cleaned your entire home, it'll kind of tell you where the carpet is, or you can add a piece of carpet, which that's what I'm going to do here. Now, if you click on this button, I'm in the map edit settings and carpet. I hit plus add a regular carpet. Let's just carpet type. I can tell it what type of carpet that is. Is it flat, low profile? This is medium pile, I'm pretty sure, but I'm going to put it on long pile just to see if we get some chassis lift. Again, this is the first cleaning. I'll be experimenting more with this. So there's the carpet. Again, if I click on it, I can edit what it is. Yeah. Now I can tell it whether I'm going to keep it where it just lifts the cloths. I could select vacuum that area first before it mops an area, so. Now when I go back to the map, I can see there's that piece of carpet. Now let's do a zone clean. Now I can do a vacuum only. I'll mess around with the suction. I'm going to do 2 passes and just a standard cleaning pattern. All right.
Starting zone cleaning.
It's going to undock itself. I'm going to try to get the cover that it's going to put over the mop roller also. Okay, we're going to see how the Roborock Curv 2 Flow vacuums up this big mess. This is a robot vacuum cleaner that can vacuum and mop at the same time. I'm going to try to catch, it has a cover that it puts over the mop roller. And we got a bunch of long hair, kitty litter, coffee. I've got it on the highest suction possible. And the carpet I've got selected is long profile carpet, so it thinks it's really thick carpet, which it is kind of thick carpet. You can also tell it that it's low profile carpet. Both side brushes do spin on carpet. Wow, I did a good job. And it's going to do 2 passes. That's the first pass. It is leaving a little bit behind. There's a little bit of long hair it didn't get. There it did. Nope, it left it behind. Yeah, I would like for the cleaning pattern to be a little tighter. I could have put it on intense cleaning. That's a bunch of kitty litter right there. Pretty, left some in the middle. Okay, this is the first pass. It is able to grab a lot of the hairs off of the carpet. Now, it hasn't gotten everything. There's, lift some strips. Okay, so it's starting the crisscross pattern. This is pass number 2. That's a little concerning about leaving some gaps. It's almost like when it travels, is it going off at an angle a little bit? I'm not sure. But the second pass is doing a good job. Again, first cleaning. First time it's cleaned this room. I've got to take this to my house before I give it my final result. And I'll be using a lot of just automatic features. I'm not going to be putting it on intensive cleaning. And there's where all that kitty litter was. There's a few long hairs. Now it is kind of slow sometimes, and then it's kind of fast. I'm not sure, but there does seem to be like a not a completely straight pattern. Maybe it's an optical illusion. I don't know. There, it speeds up and then it slows down. I don't know why. I mean, does it see those particles on the ground and slow down? I mean, I don't think I have that feature on, but that would be pretty cool if it could do that. Now, it is getting this floor very clean. It's doing a zoned cleaning right now. It's grabbing a lot of, it's leaving some hairs on the floor. I do see some. Not too bad though. It's getting a lot of the, I'm glad to see these robots coming with higher suction power. I do think that's helping with the dirt and debris. With like the ground coffee there. Yeah, there's a few hairs here and there. I do like the side brushes working on carpet. I do have a hair clump over here. See, it's almost like it just goes at an angle instead of straight. There's a little hair clump there. I think it got that. It did. Now we'll do an auto empty and we'll see, make sure it auto empty. Oh, I can see it. It's playing around with that hair clump. I saw it for just a second. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we did get a hair clump. We did get a hair clump.
Finished cleaning.
All right.
Returning to dock.
I'm not going to disturb the auto empty. About 2 hair clumps, some little bit of confetti. I do like the increased suction. There are some just minor hairs, but it got the kitty litter. It got the coffee. Not all the coffee, okay? But wow. Okay, it did a good job. Oops. I gotta move my cart. And again, I'm not really sure what it's gonna do with the different profiles of carpet, how that's gonna come into play. I didn't get the cover. Well, I'll try to get that later. I was gonna show people the cover. Let's do an auto empty first. And we should hear like a thunk. Everything coming out of that dustbin. Yeah, that sounded good. It's not super loud either. I like that. There's the pattern that it did. All right, it is out the bottom, which that can be problems. There can be problems with that sometimes, but not on this. The filter, it got everything auto emptied, so good.
Dustbin installed. Pause. Please remove the onboard dirt. Continue returning to dock.
Okay, little extra here. I'm gonna try to get that cover. It doesn't cover the entire roller. It's supposed to be traveling.
Position established.
You know, it doesn't really need a cover. I did hear. Okay, I can see the cover. I'll get it. What? Why is the roller spinning? What is going on? I saw the this is crazy. All right, hold on. Sorry about that. So we're gonna. Why is the mop roller spinning? I've got it on vacuum only, 2-pass. This should not be vacuuming. I don't, maybe it's supposed to, I don't know. This is all, it does have a cover, but I don't know why the mop roller would spin. I'm gonna get down there again. Let me just, once it gets to a area. See? I mean, it's got a cover. I don't know why it would spin. It's lifted. You know, it's doing all the right things for carpet. I just don't know why the mop roller would spin. And maybe it's supposed to do that. I don't know. That is the strangest thing. I just was expecting it to lift it and not spin it. But there's definitely a cover. It's not contacting. Definitely that is high enough to lift it, so I don't know. Let me know what you think. Now when it travels, it doesn't spin the mop. Like it was traveling back to the dock and it wasn't spinning. So I told it just to vacuum this room, and I don't think the mop roller is spinning. It's very quiet. I got it on the lowest setting. Yeah, see, the cover's not on and it's vacuuming only. It's just lifted. Okay, it's not doing it now. It's got the cover on. So I'm not sure. I'm playing with the settings and stuff, mainly to do with carpet, but I've got it doing, I'm doing a room clean instead of a zone clean, and I took away that piece of carpet I added. So I kind of went against what I always tell people is have it clean your entire house first and let it identify where the carpet is. That's what I'm doing now. Before I did that carpet test, I said there was carpet here and the carpet was long profile carpet. And maybe that's differently. Now it did that cleaning and it knows there's carpet here, if that makes any sense. And now I'm doing just a room vacuum. See, there's where it didn't see the little squiggly lines. Or the dots. That's it identifying where the carpet is. So may have been an abnormality. Definitely just raised and cover. There, it's not turning it. It's got the cover. and it's just lifted. Something to keep our eye on. The cleaning, I'm trying to see if it's going off on that angle. I think it is still. So I've got it doing this room, not doing a zone. And it's like it starts off straight, but then it kind of just angles. Hard, I'm trying to track it. I'm going to pick a spot. Boy, if it does it, it's very slight, and it's towards the end. So I forgot to check the tank.
Remove the onboard dirty water tank before turning over the robot.
Oh, did you hear that? They don't want you flipping the robot over. There could be dirty water in this, because this is just, that's just open. That makes, okay, that's gonna, I mean, let's just take a look. It's not super, I mean, I didn't do a mopping event, so, but that's interesting. They don't want you flipping the robot over with this installed. It could leak out.
Onboard dirty water.
So I don't have any hair wrap. It did pick up that last hairball. It's gonna, hopefully it should suck it out, I would think. But these work amazing. Now, it doesn't work great for 3 huskies. If you have 3 huskies, no robot's gonna keep up with 3 dogs that shed like that. And if this is your first time getting a robot, it's gonna struggle for a while till it can kind of maintain a clean house. To deep clean a home, robots are not meant to deep clean homes.
Continue.
Okay, so I went against my own advice. Normally, I don't mess with any carpet settings until it cleans your entire home, and then let the robot identify where the carpets are. So I let it identify where this carpet was. Now I'm in the map, the home page. You just click it. It says, what do you want to do with this carpet? Now, here, this is where I was earlier. Click this one. Lift mop cloths and vacuum carpets. That's what I want to do. Be careful with avoid, cross, and ignore. If you put avoid, it's not going to do anything. It won't go on it. Cross means it'll just cross it. Ignore means it'll mop the floor. So I don't think that's what was going on. Now, carpet type. Nothing is selected, so I don't know what the default is. I selected long profile carpet. So let's select that and see if that had something to do with it. I'm also going to be checking threshold here in a second. And when it was turning on that carpet, I did a custom, which I normally don't do custom. Normally I just pick a room and then I tell it to vacuum only, quiet, standard cleaning pattern. Okay.
Start vacuuming.
And not so, I don't know what's going on. It's not spinning the mop pad now. I don't know if you'll see that or not. I suspect you'll see it and you'll be like, what's going on? Maybe it was just a one-time fluke. I tried to replicate, so I've got that selected as long profile carpet. Maybe it had something, I did a zone, and I think it was like a custom, because I saw the custom. Normally I don't do custom stuff. Now that's on the quietest suction. Oh no, it's got carpet boost. Keep that in mind when you have carpet. I've got it selected to quiet, but it's like, since carpet boost is selected in the settings, it has that increased suction power all the time. That's what I was saying. That may start to bother you being too loud when it's vacuuming, but you got to do it in the settings and not. Yeah, it's not spinning the mop pad. Yep, it's not spinning the mop roller. That's, I'm hoping, was just an abnormality. It's not spinning the mop roller. Now there is this feature I like. You can tell, say it's doing your whole entire home and it's bothering you. You could just hit skip area. It'll leave the room, but it won't cancel the job. So I also like add area. Let's add an area over here.
Complimentary cleaning now.
Moving to the other destination. That's where I set up a threshold. There's hardly any information on thresholds. That's a pretty tall one. That's a 3.8 centimeters. I heard it might do 30 centimeters, and I also saw something that says it might do 40 centimeters. And this is staggered. It did say something about chassis lift. Looks like it probably could do that first threshold, but this second one is pretty tall. I don't see the front wheel lifting. I know it's trying to find a way in there. It's getting close, yeah. Like I said, it could probably do that first lip, just not the second lip. It doesn't have much threshold climbing capabilities. Very little. I mean, it can lift itself up a little bit. Is it something's lifting it. Yeah, it can lift itself up.
Could not reach the target zone. Resume cleaning.
I think the front wheel does lift. Okay, I'm going to take this off that makes a combined 3.8. So I think it can do probably 1.9 or about 20 centimeters. And again, I've got the threshold in the app that I told it was there. Okay, I'm gonna go tell it to clean that room. I made the threshold a little wider. I don't know if it's gonna help or not. Again, very little spec sheets on these. All right, no problem with that, okay. No problem. And the mop pad is covered. It's not spinning. Again, had no problem with that, but anything bigger than that, probably a problem. So I just told it to come home and it's kind of struggling. Just when you think, I was gonna stop the video, but I heard it banging against that threshold going, why isn't it just going over it? Like it knows it's there. It needs to lift that front wheel up. I thought it lifted the front wheel up, but I might. Did it just get lucky on the first? I mean, even the Roborock Curv would do chassis lift over that. And the Curve X can lift its front wheel and it can lift the main wheels, but I'm not so sure. I don't know if there's chassis lift on this. I thought it said there was, but no, if it has the slightest bumper activation, it turns it away. And it's going to do a failed to go back to dock. So this is not threshold capable. I think it just got lucky going into the room. It just... Because if it had technology to get over thresholds, it would be using it to get over the same threshold coming back. So it... It did try to make a run at it. Oh man, that was a bang. I mean, unfortunately, that's what it has to do. It has to kind of get up speed and to go over it. I will be coming up with my first cleaning conclusion here in a second. This is important though. I take this for granted sometimes and I shouldn't. Like, it knows where it is and it's trying to go home. Now it's going somewhere else. You know, it has nose wheel lift. I can see it. It's randomly lifting that front nose. I saw it lift the front nose when it was over here, not when it was where it should. I don't know. I mean, this is hard to watch. It's like somebody that can't get home. I thought I saw the nose wheel lift. I can't verify that. Again, I don't think it does. Now that
Starting point.
it says it couldn't return to the starting point, so no thresholds on this.
Returning to dock.
Okay, let's go over the specs again. $1,000. It is on sale for $150. I'm starting to see why it's a budget robot. You know, there's no threshold. 20,000 pounds of suction. Roller, 15 millimeter lift. That was really good. Split brush dual roller. Water tank on board. Video camera. Obstacle avoidance is probably going to be amazing. So we'll see. Threshold, that's going to be like nil. Like 10 millimeter. What I used ChatGPT and all of that, and it was kind of telling me, oh, 30 to 40, but no. 6 newtons of downward pressure, which I was doing a really good job. Roller cover went on carpet, 167 degrees. I don't think it has this dirt detect. I think it has the onboard dirt detect. I got to do more testing where the camera, if the camera sees, maybe it does. I know. I hate when they're not super specific, but maybe it is that. I don't know yet. But anyway, I take it to my house. This will all show itself. How big was the hassle factor? Did I feel like throwing it out the window? Hair test. Did it leave a bunch of clumps? I do have a dog that sheds a lot. Corner sweeping. How well does it actually clean and mop? And the clutter. Does it get stuck very often? I'll fill these in accordingly, give it an overall score. Will it be the gold standard? This will be very rare. Very rare. Will it be buy it, wait for a deal, or skip it? And I thought about naming that toss it. And then, you know, if it gets a buy it or wait for a deal or the gold standard, I'm going to have a different gold standard one, but it'll get this sticker, just a dad approved. You're going to see my logo on robots And going forward now, they will not get this sticker until after being at my house for 3 months. And I have a whole bunch of robots that just came from my house. L40S, Aqua 10 Ultra, this is going to be its closest competitor. I've got the Roomba 705 mop roller, it's a piece of junk. The Dreamy Matrix 10 spinning mop pads just came from my house, but what I do is I do the maintenance. I do a maintenance video, show you how to do all the maintenance, and after I do the maintenance video, it's past all, that's everything that I'm going to consider, and then I'll give it my final score. So if robots are super new, it's going to be hard for me to give it a Just a Dad approved sticker. I really want to take it home. I really want to live with this robot. I think that's the hassle factor, and living with these robots is the best way to review them. We can do testing here in the studio, and I do put them through the testing here at the studio, but man, taking them home, that's the future. And again, I'm not really going to super recommend robots that are super new. I've got to see how they're going to do, because there's been some robots that, oh, they looked really good here at the studio. I take them home, they were no good. The Ecovacs T50 comes to mind. So again, I'm home with the honest review, my website, justadadapproved.com. The videos are going to back up the website. So if you're ever wondering which robot to pick, go to my website. And if I have it as a highly recommended robot, it's going to have all the videos to go along with it. So just because I say, oh, this is the 2025 Robot of the Year, the Mova P10 Pro last year. Well, go look at my videos. I've got the how to set it up. I've got the review. I've got compare it to the closest competitor. Then I do the maintenance video, and then I live with it for 3 months. And I think I lived with that one for 6 months. And I even bought a second one, and it's still, I got 2 of them. And it's doing really good. So that's the kind of recommendation you're going to get from me. These Generation 1 robots, they're fancy, lots of bells and whistles. I'm not getting caught up in the hype anymore. There's been lots of hype. When robots first release, a bunch of them are sent out for free to people. I get lots of emails, robot manufacturers wanting to send these robots out for free. I will not be accepting them. That's my promise to you, is I will not accept a free robot. I will not be paid for a video. This will be an honest review of what I think. And it's going to come down to, do I feel like throwing it out the window, and is it actually clean in my house? Those 2 things. And then I've got some other things that go along with it. Is it easy to maintain and all that? So my website is going to be the go-to place to find your robot vacuum cleaner and to help maintain your robot vacuum cleaner. Because I'm going to do these, how to clean these. This has to be done about every 3 months, 2 months. So, and it's going to have to, you're going to have to change filters. You're going to have to get a dust bag. So that website, justadadapproved.com, is going to be a super easy place to go to. It'll have a link to the video. It's going to be a YouTube video, but then I'll put a link to it there. But it'll have links to the dust bags, the filters I use, and I do try to use generic when I can. I've wasted some money on generic, but I've also saved some money. And so when I find good generic products, which I just found a really good generic tri-cut brush for different robots, it's half the price. So check out my website. I'll have the latest. If there's a mod that I recommend, like the Mova P10 Pro has 2 mods that I recommend doing. I'm already thinking of one for this Roborock. That's going to be the ionizing tablets for the dirty water tank. Check out my website, justadadapproved.com. You'll see cleaning hacks, upgrades for robots. It's just going to be your one-stop go-to place. And I follow the sales. So when a robot goes on sale, sign up for my email list. I'll let you know when a robot that I absolutely love. We got to take advantage of these sales events. I can't stress that enough. The prices I saw during these major Amazon events like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, there's like 2 or 3 during the year for Amazon. These sales are amazing. And you can just really, really save a lot of money on a really, really good robot. But you can also get a really, really bad robot. You can't just go by how many are sold on Amazon. Like the Roomba 405, like there was like 30,000 of them sold. It was at $400. Well, there was a better $400 robot, a much better robot. That was the Mova P10 Pro. So check out my website. I'll be updating it during the sales events. You don't always have time for videos. But again, the videos will back up the website. That's always going to be the case. And the 3-month test will back up my rating. So again, I do appreciate everybody. If you found this video helpful and useful, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Head on over to the website, sign up for the email list. Again, I want to prevent you from wasting your money on bad robots. Let me spend the money. I buy them with my own money. I do appreciate everybody's support.